Hey, hello everybody. So the good thing, let's start to talk about good things. What we are trying to build something that nobody built so far. As you can see, how the levels play out, right? Everything based in the options book. Premium, break even, deltas, gamma, right? I also notify you guys in the group. Fabio, you got all the movements? No, I don't. And I'm a very, conservative person because I know how difficult it is to make money. I make money through my work, not through the stock market. And I also highlight you guys yesterday, I could be wrong by a lot because a bunch of diversions, right? A bunch of diversions. And consequently, I told you guys, pay attention in the levels. Play the levels for those that like to trade every single day. And I want to highlight Samir because Samir is in the group and he closed 4,330 call almost at the top. Congratulations to him. Basically, he trusts. He trusts in all the levels. Okay? Yes, a soon break 85. I expect 95. Of course, I was expecting 95 and I highlighted that, but they gave us 9. The important, is to analyze something and find out the movement. I was able to find out the downtrend movement? No, I don't. Especially why? Because the GX and the DIX, they remove liquidity, drop 5%, and they prepare the book. Remember, remove liquidity means if you want to join and they want to melt up, you buy higher. If you want to sell and then they want to melt down, you sell cheaper, lower liquidity with higher gamma exposure. Okay? Anyway, I don't want to went through what anyway, let's review what I wrote yesterday. I had a doubt during the intraday. Yes, of course, because the movement was really aggressive. But sometimes some people just push my ear. You don't believe in your study. Yeah, sometimes I don't. But as you see, remember, usually delta don't lie. Deltas don't lie means red day tomorrow. But yes, during the intraday, I told you guys, now I don't expect more a red day because the melt up was really aggressive. And I cannot be hypocrites telling that I expecting during the intraday a meltdown. But yes, deltas never lie. Deltas never lie. I need to believe in myself sometimes more and more. Okay? That was my analysis yesterday. As you can see, as you read, I compare today with yesterday because we were trapped. We had bullish deltas, bearish put call ratio, and we had liquidity with lower GX. Different than today, we had no liquidity with higher GX. What happened yesterday? We went up hardly. And today I also highlighted this over here. Supposed to be a trap. But when you have a bunch of divergence, the analysis and then I mean the direction is really difficult, to measure, not to find but to measure. Because, for example, today I know that in the open group a lot of people now are going down and going down, and I told you guys the implied volatility is telling me that you break up 4,385 and you back test 4,395. What time I told you guys this? Note that we back at 1116. Note that back test 71, current delta support, now 75 is the key region. Note as gamma support, if you break 75, 76, market to be ready to go higher. I mean, break the strength level at 79. I start to notify you guys at 1116. At 1136, so market now tends to go up to 4,395 as the last level marked in the graph above, per structure, the graph. And why I told you guys that? We need 11% delta spike in 4,305 call contracts. Current implied volatility is showing me that we could break it today. And if I'm right, we have space to go up to the last level of today's graph, 4,395. They bring us 439. Okay? But I start to notify you guys. You guys also realize that, almost at the top, I readjusted everything. Basically, I got the movement. I just, rebalance my portfolio. I start to close more long calls. And now reset the spread. Okay? Consequently, now we have a golden level that's 4,355. Okay? So far we are trending inside the major delta resistance, that's not more support, and the gold level is 4,355. As soon as you break, the final destination will be something between 4,340 and 4,347.48. Okay? That's totally possible. We see the market close in that region, especially nearby the charm. The charm starts at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and we are very close from the monthly end. We suppose we see a charm today and tomorrow. We could see a huge drop at the close, especially if we are trending in a negative delta territory, not gamma, weakness, in a weakness territory. Okay? The good thing that we are built something nice. And you guys see, that how the level was really respected and tradable and back tested during the intraday, because this was the structure that they built. Anyway, now let's move on and let's talk about a little bit, because everybody's asking, Fabio, market will back test the lows. Markets, bring a lot of anxiety to people. Because why? It's money. The majority of the people look to be millionaire through the stock market. And this is not the goal. Guys need to understand the stock market was built to you guys losing money. So you guys need to use the stock market as a heritage protection. Don't be greedy. Don't be overtrade. That's my advice. Regarding, market you back test the new lows. I like to compare two things right now that, one is the Bitcoin, because it's a very, it's a, have a lot of volatility in such assets, and the SP 500. That's consequently is a delta 1. And let's check the monthly graph. 12 months, a year graph, that's better. 1 year graph. Let me put this in a full screen. And let's do the same with the Bitcoin. Let me put bigger as well. Since Bitcoin is a very new asset, we cannot see, the bullion bands. We don't have, enough information to have the bullion bands, in a year graph. But it's a good thing, and that's totally normal because we are entering in a recession, but nobody can predict when you get in a recession because we still have a lot of money inside the economy, right? You go some places, you see some places really packed. We have, credit. You still have credit, even the cost of the money is going higher. We still have a plenty of credit. People still buying houses, still buying cars, and dealers have been selling those assets. Since you still have demand, you still have money, inside the economy. But the money have been shrink, right? Because everything is getting expensive. My car, I supposed to be renew my lease in September. I started to watch cars. I told you to my wife, I sent a bunch of cars to my wife, and I said, oh, the best cost and benefits is like a Volvo, or even like a Volkswagen, or a Subaru, because the German cars now skyrockets. It doesn't make sense to me to buy a German car anymore. But we still have money, people still having selling. I'm not, I'm telling serious because, let me show you guys. So people still have money. I said, for example, a Volvo, how much they are selling, I start to research for, a family car, a family car. But we cannot, try to guess things. But let's go back to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, the annual graph, as you can see, back tested EMA 8. That is this green line in the year graph. And buyers jumping and Bitcoin starts going up. We could see a back down. Of course, I'm not bullish in Bitcoin anymore, as I told you guys. I was bullish in 24, I was bullish in 13. And I told some people like Samir that I some point I told you that's totally possible to see Bitcoin at 4K. Of course, nowadays you need a black swan to see Bitcoin at 4K. But I'm seeing a possibility, yes, to Bitcoin back test 3000K again. The door is open for that. Everything depends of the cost of the money. Everything depends of the liquidity being drained. That nobody knows what's going to happen. Those info have been locked between the Federal Reserve and the JP Morgan. Nowadays, a lot of information is not coming to the public. It's locked between them. You guys already also realize that, yes, somebody is not allowed to market going down. Market, back test some levels, we see large caps being buying. Rotation. Who is the buyer? For me, is the Federal Reserve. Especially in the last couple of the days, I show you guys, today market set up to go up to 65, and then they break and bring back to 80 is because one player starts to send every 15 minutes 4,300 buy orders, 100 contacts striking 4,380. I guess it was 3 days ago. I don't remember what was last week. And that's the day that I'm supposed to be roll out my 4,365 call spreads. You guys remember? One player wasn't 10. It was one player because the order came from the same exchange in a 15 minutes period. So it was a machine making a premium mathematics calculation to melt the market up to gamma. At the same day, the volume just died, right? It was a melt up to gamma using the systematic of the infrastructure. Let's go back to the graph. So Bitcoin backtest the EMA8 annual graph, and you saw a spike. That's a very totally correct and healthy movement. Let's check SP500. SP500 even getting closer. The EMA8 nowadays is 3,527. Even getting closer. Of course, in the time that you print 3,400, the EMA8 was printed at 3,200, 3,300. We're even getting closer. Also, if everybody think this movement is healthy, people are supposed to be crazy. Especially if you analyze it through Boolean bands. Look, this rectangle in blue, this is the really supply region that also match at the top of the Boolean band at 4,520. For me, it looks like that somebody is really interested to bring the market up to here. And let's come back for all the how can I say, the charlatans that we have in the market that, the market now will go to 10,000. How come a person that, only look graph thinks that market could you go direct to 10K, 6K without a correction, without backtest at least the EMA8, without to see an adjustment in the Boolean bands? Never in the history, never ever, if you get slowly, never ever in the market history we saw such movement. This is totally unhealthy. Those that like Fibonacci and just try to measure or try to predict levels, using the Fibonacci draw, you guys need to put the zero at least in 2008. Why I'm telling 2008? Observe the volume in bars. 2008 is when the movement starts, is when dealers bought. And we saw this crazy movement, right? So if you put, the zero over here at the bottom of 2008, 2009 basically, because 2008 we saw a meltdown, huge volume, but in 2009 bottom accumulation, look, the volume was much higher than 2008, right? So the movement starts in the bottom accumulation back in 2009. If you put the 14.6 around the preview candle that's supposed to be matched with the pivot, a confirmation, because it's never getting lower than this guy, you see that, that basically is everybody's looking for the same level, that the 100% go up to 6K. But to go there, we need a correction. We need, to see Boolean banding being adjusted. Okay, could you go direct over there? Yes, as everybody's looking for. Of course, could you go? I'm not telling that you will not be able, but nobody. People that at least understand graphic patterns. We cannot think that this movement is normal. It is not. We have a very discrepancy between the current market movement and the current economy. People have been losing jobs. But the jobs is almost an all-time low. Back in 70s was the same. In starting 65, and if I'm not wrong, 71 or 72 the recession starts, or 70 in 70 the market's bottom, something like that. Just go back to the past when the Vietnam War started. You guys, you see higher inflation, war, and lower unemployment. Couple years after, we enter in a recession, market bottom. We have, nowadays a very, FOMO. Because even you guys have been asking me almost every day, we will backtest the bottom, the lowers, we will backtest the lowers, almost the same question. Of course we will. If you guys think this is a very healthy movement and supposed to be a continual movement, you guys supposed to be crazy. This is never happened in the history. That's the biggest bubble ever. How long will it take? How far will you go? I don't know. But as much you go higher, much danger will be. Why? Because the economy is not following. The economy is not following the current prices. The economy is not following the current, company's results. Bonus. Financial persons, CTAs especially, they have been, the companies, the institutions have been freezing their bonus. BlackRock lost $1.7 trillion. Have you guys seen this in history before? No. Even with a 90-degree movement upside, a big financial institution suffered a drawdown of $1.7 trillion. Why? Because market is not healthy. Where do we have premium nowadays? Fixed income. That's, the place that pay much more premium. Especially when you see the yields curve. So today, the yields curve is minus 100. Especially when you see the adjustment in the yields curve, usually bonds supposed to be skyrocket. Because the yield adjusts the yields. Yields being adjusted, the value of the face value of the bonds tend to skyrocket. In the meantime, doing the higher rates, they have been paying premium. Of course, nowadays, bonds is, is being impacted as well because they are not fixing the yields curve. We see, constantly, yields is going up and down, like Bitcoin, crazy, a lot of volatility, in the yields, and also in the dollar. So, some, correlations is not working anymore, especially, DXY. Why? Because a lot of central banks have been burning reserves. affecting, the price of the dollar. You guys saw yesterday that China came in public and said, I'm dumping dollar because I want to evaluate my currency. In Brazil, for example, they are putting rates higher. The Selic is 13.5%. Bring the real higher. Consequently, dollar lower because the Federal Reserve is not following the same movements as other central banks. Like ECB, for example, Brazil is a good example. But last month in Brazil, the inflation skyrocketed. If the central bank in Brazil didn't intervene, the inflation over there tended to is going high. So what will be the tool? Raise rates from 13.5% to 20%. So where the premier is? Fixed income. Right? Fixed income. I just this is not a financial advice. Okay, this is just I'm trying to express my opinion based in what I have been seeing day by day, and consequently analyzing the year graph and compare with Bitcoin. Bitcoin did a good movement. Bitcoin at least back test the EMA 8 of the annual graph. That's something that the SP 500 didn't. You guys also have been realizing why SP 500 is still going up. You saw a big rotation, totally unhealthy. They sunk Disney, real economy, came from almost $300 to less than 80, and they move Nvidia to all-time high, Apple to all-time high, Microsoft to all-time high. Do you guys really need technology to live, or you guys need water, food to live? You guys go to a supermarket to buy a Windows 10 to lunch, or you guys go to a supermarket to buy a chicken or a meat to lunch, right? In this type of environment where the economy is shrinking, the cost of money is going higher, makes sense to anybody to see technology skyrocket, or agriculture, or commodities in general, because we depend on the commodity, not the technology. Technology depends also on the commodity, right? They need copper to build the chipset. They need silver. They need gold. They need iron, right? We have a big discrepancy nowadays between stock market, economy, and also commodities. Commodities need to suffer a little bit, of course, because the cost of the money. They readapting our lifestyle. Some people is not dining out anymore. I'm seeing a lot of people start, to cook at home. It's not dining out too much. The portions in the restaurants have been sinking, but the price is going high. 5 years ago, dining out, not 5, but 2 years ago, if I dine out with my family, I suppose I expect like it's a regular restaurant, not luxury. It's a Brazilian restaurant. Rice and beans and meat. Very simple food. I suppose I expended between $40 and $60. Nowadays, minimum 120, 150. Right? So, regarding you guys' question, will we back test lower last year lower? Of course it will. Of course it will. You guys really think that this is normal? No, it is not. And this has never happened in the history. That's the biggest bubble ever. Like Redalio said, we need a reset. We really need a reset. The Federal Reserve have been helping banks and big institutions. When this is going to happen, I don't know. Nobody knows. Maybe JP Morgan, maybe J Powell, maybe. Okay? And you guys don't need to go to Harvard to study economy to know that to correct things, especially the yields curve now is minus 101, we need to enter in a recession. How do you suppress, yields? Buying yields, as you know, Bank of Japan have been doing since 1980s, and the economy over there is like stagflation, never went up. They have been buying, selling dollars, rebuying dollars cheaper, to try, to make a fake yields. I mean, giving, liquidity to the economy, but the economy is not responding. Since 98, that's when we start, to see the economy sinking. A lot of people like Trump. What Trump did for this country? Nothing. Trump just used what Obama did to mess it up, allow a Federal Reserve to buy from the open market, put the yields in a negative territory to benefit himself. He didn't help nobody. Of course, I had a better life with Trump and Obama because it was a lot of money, cheaper money. Of course, I will be fucked up with Biden. I will be fucked up with the next president. Doesn't matter who you be, because they need to adjust this shit. Takes time and need intelligence too. We cannot guess when market will crash because this is the easiest crash in the history of this planet. Just look the graph. Compare, with the real economy. They are not working together. They need to work together. They need to one give a hand to another one to work together. And this is the only way that the Federal Reserve, the US government, can show to the world that we have the most stronger economy in the world. Pump the bubble. We need a lot of Warren Buffett to do the propaganda. Don't fight America. But they never come, right? They never come to the public and show to the public, to the world, the US debt clock, right? They never do that. They never come to the public. How is our current debt? Let's refresh. $32 trillion. The US government machine doesn't work anymore. We don't have enough money, to keep those bullshit folks going to Washington, D.C., for a free lunch. A crazy old guy that, has amnesia, has a lot of, mental problem to be paid by us. With, a kid that only expend money with corruption, cocaine, and hookers. I don't want to judge anybody, but, it's paying. The money that they receive came from us as a taxpayer, right? This example of the bubble, $32 trillion. Debt ceiling, debt ceiling, debt ceiling. So the snowball start like this size, right? This side, this size. Grow, 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 grow. Became an avalanche. When all the snow is coming down to killing everybody, we cannot guess, we don't know. That's the easy crash ever. Everybody know that we need to reset. Everybody know that we need to start from the beginning. Everybody know that we need to increase rates in a fast pace and higher than people imagine. But nobody knows when this happens. Nobody knows when somebody really wants to take the ball, take the responsibility, and come to the public and say, I will fix this. Of course, the person that you take the ball, take the responsibility to fix this, you not to be a good person for the society, because the society will suffer a lot. We don't need to go to Harvard to understand that. But in another hand, we cannot have bias in the market. We need to follow day by day structure and try to cover and protect our ass. What I told you guys back in 2019 when I pay off my house, I told you all my friends, be a debt-free person. Pay off all your debts. That's what I did back in 2020. Okay? I don't owe money to nobody. Of course, yeah, for the leasing cars I have, but something that, I can throw away. But I don't own $1 million to nobody. My house is paid off. My house that I have outside the US is also paid off, that I'm looking to sell to bring more money to US, because my entire family is here. And I, of course, I'm American too. I don't have any more families in Brazil. My mom is already passed away, and my father passed away back in 92. So my wife is here, my son, my kids are here, they are American. My sister-in-law is here, my brother-in-law is here. My wife's parents also already passed away, so everything's here. But the goal is be debt free, something that we are right now. Okay, guys, I just wanted to give you guys such message because you guys have been asking me a lot about will we test lowers. We will. This is guarantee. And I almost guarantee that you will lose, the COVID bottle. I can't tell you when. This is something that I don't know. And nobody know. Of course, you see a lot of charlatans in Twitter. Fractal people, that's the worst, charlatans ever. The market, you repeat this. And of course, other charlatans, for example, yes, somebody bought 120,000 SPY contract strike 4,460 without any volumes. 300 contracts was negotiated in the entire day yesterday. Twitter has a bunch of people like this, and usually they charge for that. That's the insane, They, charge, for a financial consulting without even understand how market works. Okay? Guys, take care. Love you guys.